It's channel X, it's Jesse.
X such a cuss, it's your channel. X such a cuss. X it's Jesse. X such a cuss. X such a cuss entertainment.
It's Jesse. It's Jesse Entertainment. It's Jesse. It's Jesse Entertainment. It's Jesse.
Hello everyone, live from Chicago. My name is Jesse Silva Zacarias, but people just call me Jesse. This morning, another episode of Art Connects with Dmitry Samarov joining us again live. Dmitry, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing great, thanks. Well, besides talking about your latest artwork during this shelter-in-place situation, today we'll be talking about music, food, places to visit when the social distancing is done, which could happen in months from now. We hope we have time to discuss with you, our audience, the art of driving in Chicago. We'll be talking about the bar and restaurant industry and the critical situation most businesses.
Before you go on,
Yeah.
I would hesitate to call driving an art. I think it's more of like a sickness, you know?
Nice. I call it art because I still do it, and I drive a truck. But I call it art because
Well, in your hands, the steering wheel is just like a paintbrush. I understand.
Sure. Yes. We'll be talking about bar and restaurant industry, how they're facing this crisis. It's really the toughest time probably for the restaurant industry ever. And according to the statistics, a very small percentage of the restaurants and bars open today will remain open after the pandemic. We will also talking now about restaurants and bars. You, Dmitry, you have something really awesome going on and really good news for bars and restaurants through GoFundMe, don't you?
Right. Yeah. So the two bars / restaurants that you and I probably know best, the Skylark and the Rainbow, as well as many others, are holding GoFundMe fundraisers these days to help out their employees. So as part of that, I've made some prints available, I've paintings that I've done of the Skylark and of Rainbow, and if people order those prints through a site called Imprint, which you're going to share a link to, I'll donate the proceeds to the GoFundMes to help out to make sure that these bars can hopefully reopen soon, and that the people that work there can pay their bills,
You know what, Dmitry?
Yeah.
Give me 1 second.
No, I don't have that kind of time.
Oh, no, sorry. I thought we weren't listening to you on YouTube, but we are. It's just I had the headset on my phone. But hey, that's really nice. I'm gonna put the
Yeah, if you could share the links to that to Imprint. Imprint is just it's a company that makes nice prints from. You send them digital files or designs, and they can make prints, and they make any postcards, greeting cards, they can print on anything basically. But I've been working with them for a bunch of years, and I have a bunch of different images on there. But amongst those are paintings of bars, and if people buy those while this COVID thing is going on, I'll donate whatever I make to the cause.
Right. I'm gonna share the link. I'm not gonna share the link until we're done. I'm gonna share on the description, but I'm showing it live right now.
Okay, good.
I'm showing the printings of the Skylark. There are 3 of them.
Mm-hmm. And there's about
Uh,
10, there's like 10 of the Rainbow. I've
right.
also there's one of the Hideout, which is another great bar, nightclub in Chicago. Yeah,
Yes,
those.
I'm showing those two right now.
Yeah, yeah. So that's one of the things I've been doing to try to help. You know,
Right.
um,
Um, well, of the restaurants and bars that we love,
mhm.
those are two of them, the Skylark and Rainbow Club. Um, but what do you think the possibility is for most small businesses? I mean, we are probably gonna stay in this situation for months, at least till the end of May, possibly. I mean, most likely.
Yeah, I have no clue. I think it's definitely sort of uncharted territory. I have no insights at all. I'm just, I'm trying to follow orders, do what the government says, and do whatever small part I can to get through this shit, and then we'll see where we're at afterwards. I mean, look, there have been other times in human history when there are plagues, and
Right.
somehow the world recovers. It takes some time, but then the world recovers, and then we forget. That's the crazy thing, is that
Yeah.
sometime in the future there's going to be a time when people live whatever way they live, and they're not going to remember this. That's the crazy shit about it.
Yeah.
And it's true of, I mean, I think it's necessary, because otherwise you will just be drowned in grief, and anxiety, and you can't go on if all you're fixated on is history.
Right.
We have to do what we need to do to get through this, and then see where we're at. But yeah, day to day, it's impossible uh, to live with all this information, sort of being bombarded by it. I mean, and one of the ways I fight it is to limit my exposure, to screens and to the all this shit. Like, one of the ways I do that is by not having a smartphone and etc.
Right. Yeah.
which
That's really
which makes
useful.
it easier for me to live and function, even in normal times,
Right.
and even more so in like during a catastrophe like this.
Right.
But yeah, I've found the times when I turn the computer off are the better times. I'll say that.
You're entirely right, man. I'm an example of I would say stupidity or perseverance. I don't know, man. When it comes to computers, these past, what is it, 4 months, I've just struggled so much with computers.
Well, you're
And
trying
it's
to launch a new sort of business or thing.
right.
So,
I'm
yeah.
also doing it myself. The whole production stuff, I'm doing it myself. It takes a little longer than
Well,
normal.
sure. Yeah. Yeah. If you had a pile of money, you could hire somebody to do all the tech shit for you.
It'd be so sweet just to, dedicate my time to, train
I,
to speak on the microphone and train to do all of these
I know.
things.
Wouldn't it be great?
And I don't
That's what
have the time.
I always fantasize, that I have somebody else to sell my art and to like stretch canvases and do all this boring, boring shit that I hate doing.
Right.
But there isn't anybody to do it. It's just me.
Right.
And it takes up a lot of time and effort, and it's frustrating, and I'm not good at it. When what I should be doing is just fucking painting pictures, because I
Yeah.
pretty much suck at everything else. So,
Right.
but that's unfortunately that's not the situation. So we do what we can.
Yeah, man. I wish the talented people of at least the city. I'm very, even though I wasn't born and raised in Chicago, I love this city and I feel very connected to this city. I really wish, in Chicago, artists and talented people didn't have to work that hard, extra hard. talent should be paid for itself, you know.
Well, sure. And I mean, one of the things that, I've read about, and this is an idea that's been floating around for years, is that really with the global economy, there's enough money to pay everyone a living wage,
Right.
to pay everyone in the world money just to live, you know? But
Yeah.
but that's not how it's set up, Like there is enough money for everybody to survive. There should, but it's not distributed correctly. You know what I mean?
No, you're entirely right. There are people that are worth the Amazon guy.
Yeah, yeah.
He's
Well,
worth
that's the extreme.
billions of dollars. You know, like hundreds, probably a couple hundred billions of dollars.
I don't even know how much he's worth. Yeah.
It's ridiculous, man. Like nobody is worth that much money. No one. It doesn't matter what you do.
Well, what I know is he's going to be just as dead as you and I. I
That's
mean,
true.
Although maybe that's wrong because they have, they're developing the technology, so they're like brains in a jar or whatever. They may live forever in some form,
Right.
But ideally, yeah, basically, he's going to be as dead as you or me, no matter how much he's got at the end,
Yep.
But yeah, that's there's time to think about these kinds of things now, with so many people sitting at home. I doubt very much that it's going to happen, but it could if enough people wanted it to,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's the
Read it
only
just
solution
video.
at the end of the day. If the minority actually speaks for once.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean we're in a really hard situation because we all know we cannot live without an income. We all know that. We are the people that really have the money. They're not gonna struggle. It doesn't matter. The 1% will not struggle at all.
Yeah. Although, yeah, I mean, I guess with the things like viruses, they can succeed where other things fail, So
Right.
some rich people have died from this,
Yeah.
Not nearly as many as poor people, of course, but yeah, they're not immune, not completely,
Yeah, this is I mean it's a virus, it's a new virus, and
Yeah.
and if you didn't know anything about it, about what it means to have a new virus, they teach you these things I think in Mexico they teach you these things in like the first year of high school,
Yeah.
Even I learned that before that, the I learned about the one of the first guys to use a microscope,
Oh, yeah.
Antonio van Leeuwenhoek, and well, because I that those things always interested me,
Yeah.
pandemics, microbiology itself.
Yeah.
It's super interesting,
Huh.
and just when people would not take this seriously at the beginning of it, I was super shocked,
Yeah.
and yes, it's devastating as a human being, because you realize how big of
Why you were
how
surprised?
stupid we are.
You were surprised by how stupid we are? Come
I,
on.
w- I was surprised.
would you
I had my I had high hopes.
I guess so. So you're an idealist secretly.
Secretly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know what they say about like every cynic is a frustrated, it's somebody who had really high standards, high hopes. They're just disappointed. It's like a
That's me.
disappointed idealist.
That's me.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. See, I was never interested in science growing up. I just didn't care.
Right.
I was busy not in school, not paying attention, making caricatures of the teachers and the students, doodling in my notebook instead of taking notes.
Right.
I was a terrible student.
Dude, I was a terrible student too. I was involved in every single activity, from choir to soccer to dancing to everything. I was involved in everything to skip school. But I really had no problem with school. It's just I quit school because I wanted to. I felt like I was too smart for school, and
Oh
that
yeah.
was a huge mistake. Yeah, that was a huge mistake.
When did you quit? How like in what grade? Or
It was before college. I didn't care. I'm like I took the test for the university. I
uh-huh.
was like 12 places behind getting in it, but
Uh-huh.
I didn't study at all. I took
Yeah.
after I finished high school, I took a 2 year break.
Uh-huh.
Never and I just took the test.
So you did
And
finish high school though, huh?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I only finished it because just because I didn't want to leave this world without finishing high school at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
wish I
yeah.
always wished that my parents had just sent me to what's it called? Oh man, whatever the technical school, like instead of high school, like a trade,
Oh yeah, to learn something useful.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right. I did
Vocational. That's what it's called, vocational
vocational. Yeah.
school.
I do
Yeah, I
have a
wish.
degree on a vocational degree though.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See? See, I wish I had done that instead of high school because I
Right.
I thought high school was a complete waste of time. Uh, I
Kind.
hated it. I love reading, but I hate writing book reports, which is which is funny because now I make part of my living doing exactly that,
Right.
you know, writing reviews of books and shit. But
Right.
at the time, I hated it, uh, and I wish I had just learned some sort of skill like carpentry,
Right. I
which
wish I'd learned
I could
that
make
too.
a living. And yeah, as far as I mean, like I went to art school,
Right.
so I don't really count as college exactly. It's not a university, you know.
Yeah, I mean, art school can't be considered like a superior study. It's
I mean,
for
it
like
is in a certain way, but not the way
not
a
the way
university.
you use it. I mean, or I don't know. I'm not, I don't even know. Sorry for getting into your subject just like that abruptly.
No, no, no. I mean, everyone's different. Everybody's got to find their own path. But yeah, I mean, the problem with art school is that you can't really teach somebody how to be an artist.
Right.
All you can teach them is technique and some history.
Right.
But you're either an artist or you're not. You can be a craftsman, but you can't teach somebody how to be an artist. They either are or they're not. That's what I think. Uh, and really, the best way to learn art is to apprentice. So there again, it's kind of like a trade. So if I wanted to be a painter, the best way to learn to be a painter is to go to an artist's studio and like clean their brushes for like 5 years, and stretch their canvases and watch what they're doing.
Right.
And that's how artists have always learned through history.
Yeah. I
Not
mean,
not by going to classes.
yeah. I mean, it's that's what I meant. I didn't mean to be too harsh on my words, but that's what I meant. The if you are really not skilled, go to art school. But if you are an artist, they can teach you, the best techniques to excel yourself to a certain point. But there's so much they can teach you. There's only so much
Yeah,
they can teach you. Art is depends on the person. And
yeah.
that's it. Plus, it's super subjective, so you can't
Yeah. Like it
tell
was
you.
basically, I went there because my family insisted that I go to college. And
Right.
that was the compromise. Art school was the compromise,
Right.
because I wasn't going to go to a real university because that would be pointless.
Right.
because what would I do there?
Right.
But then, I went to art school and I graduated and I became a cab driver. So go figure.
Right.
That's what I did with my art degree. I joined the service industry and I'm still sort of in it, or I may be if the bar ever reopens.
Right.
Yeah.
I hope the Skylark reopens, man.
Me too.
I mean, we are. You haven't joined because you like conversations one on one, but we do have the Skylark,
Your happy hour. Yeah.
the happy hour that lasts for hours and hours and
How
hours.
long does it go usually?
I
You-
was yesterday. I was yesterday on it until 1:30 a.m.
When did it start? At like 4 or
It
5?
starts at 4 p.m. Yes.
So wait, you were on it for 9 hours? You were there
No.
longer than the bar shift. Then it's longer than the bar shift.
No. I was only there for like 3 hours, but I was busy, building, well, reconstructing, replacing parts in the computer, and when I was done, it was about 10:30
Uh-huh.
p.m. That's when I joined the
And how many people were on there when you went?
7 people.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
Is it usually the same people? Are there people that are on there more than others?
There are people that are there more than others, like Paul has been there. Al,
Mm-hmm.
Al, he's
Oh,
there
yeah.
almost every day.
Yeah.
Larry is there every
Yeah.
day. I'm talking about the ones that stay later because I've been coming in later. But also
Yeah.
nobody comes in at 4, dude. Nobody
Yeah.
shows up at 4. I think the first one start showing up at like 6 after dinner.
Yeah.
After they've already fought with whoever they need to fight at home. That's when they show up.
Well, Marie told me that they cook dinner together. They cook dinner, they talk and drink and cook
Yeah,
dinner.
I mean, not she cooks dinner because she don't give one single flying poop, but
Yeah?
yeah, but
Oh,
not
the other
everybody.
people the other people don't want to show themselves cooking dinner.
Probably, yeah. I'm gonna say that. Yeah, I'm gonna say that. But
Yeah.
yeah, Marie, it's from jars. You know that. And dude, like I don't know how she makes it fit in the jars. She makes kale stuff. What I put in jars is pickles.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess it's useful if I'm showing on the slides your new work, right?
Oh, okay. Oh, the stuff I sent you, or
Yes, the stuff
Oh,
you sent
cool.
me on email. Later, in a little bit, I can show it on a full screen to the public too.
okay, that's cool. I don't need to see it. I've seen it already.
Right. But now, since I have this new video card,
Mhm.
it's not new, it's used, but it's new to me.
Uh-huh.
I can show it to you too.
Okay.
Let me just open the file.
Well, I don't want you to overheat to kill your computer again.
No, dude, now it's good. We're
Okay.
good.
All right. This famous last words. It's perfect.
It's perfect.
And poop, it disappeared.
Right. All right. You're looking at this, right? This
Oh, yeah.
is
I
Lithuania.
see it. That's cool.
So this is
Uh,
from your back window.
Actually, this is the window for my bedroom.
All
So
right.
it looks north towards. So you see the Sears Tower in the far background,
Yes.
or Willis Tower is the
Oh man, let's
whatever.
call it.
It'll always
Let's
be
call
a
it Sears Tower.
to old people, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it's interesting. So in 3 weeks I'll be gone, and I'm not going to have this view anymore. So I'm trying to make a couple of last kind of tributes to this apartment
Sure, dude.
after I'm gone.
Here's another tribute.
Yeah. So that's a view from exactly where I'm sitting right now. There's a wall where I put up artwork that I'm working on, and then there's a doorway into my bedroom and through to that window, the same window from which the other painting was from.
Right.
And the door on the right is towards my front door to the front apartment. Yeah.
I never was to your apartment. I gave you a ride once or
Yeah.
twice, but I never.
Oh no, nobody comes here. It's a private sanctuary. This is where I go to get away from people.
Nice.
It is. I could probably count on one hand the people that have ever been inside of this place, and I've lived here almost 5.5 years.
Right.
It's just not. Yeah, I go out into the world to be with people. I don't bring them back here.
So that's that's how I'm becoming now. I mean, besides the crisis we're on, but there was.
You mean old and set in your ways and weird?
It is, isn't it great?
Well, I don't know if it's great. I just don't know any other way to be, unfortunately.
Well, I'm that way, honestly, but I'm also married, so I'm tolerated that way, which is nice to be tolerated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what? But Brenna, she's a quiet person.
She's super
She
cool.
kind of keeps to herself, so she can't have that much of a problem with it. I can't imagine. It's probably okay with her. Yeah.
We're happy together and alone together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
That's great. Well, that's great that you found each other.
It's lucky.
Yeah.
Definitely lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that woman, man. She's.
How long have the two of you been together?
We've been together since 2013.
Okay, 7 years. That's
dating, but we've been married since we had legally. I'm probably speaking too much, but oh well. Legally since 2014.
Are you going to be divorced after this?
Yeah, she's gonna be like, yeah. No, but I mean, we didn't tell people not to put pressure on, because once you tell people you're married, they want babies and then they want all of that. So we actually had a wedding. Let me see my ring. The year was 2016. The date was.
Oh, it says inside. It says on the ring, so you don't forget.
That's exactly why I did it. No, I just don't want to forget the year. I know it's May 20th.
Okay.
That's
you
like
have an anniversary coming up, huh?
Yes, and her birthday is coming up too. It's Earth Day is her birthday.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yesterday was a birthday of one of our coworkers. It was Evert's birthday yesterday.
Oh no shit! And I didn't know.
I knew because our friend Marie, she baked him cookies and she made him all these treats, and I rode my bike all the way to her house, and then I rode it back, all that stuff back to give to Ebert to his house because he lives near me.
Right.
So it was a big long bike ride, which is nice. I wanted to take a ride anyways, but I was on a mission to give Ebert all his birthday treats.
Right.
I don't know how old he is, like 41, 42 maybe? I don't know.
I don't know how old he is, but
he's one of these people that you never know.
Yes, and he'll always look young though, younger
Yeah,
than
I know.
he
That's what I
actually
mean.
is.
But I gave up guessing people's ages a long time ago. I'm always wrong. I always get it wrong. And people don't usually know how old I am either, which is usually nice. Because I'm very, very old.
Well, you don't look old, at least to my eyes. Maybe
I'm fucking turning 50 this year. Did you know that?
That's not old. It is crazy, but you're not old, man.
All right, I'll take your word for it.
Cool. Well, I'm showing this. This is you. This has got to be you.
Yeah. Oh, in my mask.
Yeah.
Yeah. I made I was trying to like we were talking before, listening to the government. Yeah, I made a mask out of an old T-shirt. I actually haven't worn it out, but I bring it with me just in case, like somebody's there to enforce the regulations.
Right. That's cool.
It's terrible, these masks, though. I went to CVS the other day, and the guy was complaining because he's got, like he just is sweaty and uncomfortable breathing into it all the time.
Right.
And I'm that way. Like I overheat very fast, so like it's horrible having to wear a mask, and obviously people have to, and when they're dealing with the public. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. There's no other way lately. It's what should we call it? I don't know. We've never been in this situation, and
No,
I
not
also
5 times. Yeah, it's been a long time. So,
I also overheat
yeah.
terribly, and then the summer's coming, and I
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah, it's gonna be
if I
worse.
cover my face, my whole body is gonna be sweating.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No, 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 no. Oh no, you know what? Also, the reason why I had to get this new stuff anyway for the computer, man, it's the summer's coming, and if the computer with the past setup would have overheated, that was it. And
Oh yeah.
I don't have AC in my studio.
Oh
There's no way I
yeah.
can afford more electricity.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, you can't have your multimedia empire will come crashing down before you've even conquered
Right.
one part of that world.
Yeah.
Oh, so what else? You want to talk about driving, right?
Yes.
What about it?
So I want to ask you a question about driving. Do
Sure.
you what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you think traffic?
Well, any kind of driving, anything, the first thing that comes to my mind when I hear the word driving is work. Like there's no part of driving that to me like means pleasure or relaxation. All that driving has ever been in my life is work, you know?
Right.
So I drove a cab for 12 years. I delivered food for another 3 years. I had a few other driving related jobs. And I was very late to learning how to drive. I didn't learn how to drive until I was 22. And then at 23, I became a cab driver. So to me, unlike so many Americans who sort of connect driving to like personal freedom or something, to me, all it is just labor. It's just
Right.
work and it's slavery. And I don't know. I look forward to the time when, there are no personal cars at all, really. Uh, yeah, traffic specifically, I mean, because of all that time driving a cab, I got good at not getting angry
Right.
because that'll just burn you out and you'll have an ulcer and you'll die. And so many cab drivers I knew would just get angry at everything and, they'd have a heart attack and not be able to keep going because, yeah, you can't take it personally. But the whole setup of driving and everything, like one person in these little pods, in a sea of other little pods, it's just not efficient and it's not good for you. And I look forward to sometime in the future that just going away,
Right.
to having larger, more automated transport systems.
Yeah, I mean, I've before this pandemic, before I was ever before I ever had, any actual reasoning, I always wondered what would it be to have a collective transportation. Like not the system that we have with the specific routes that we have. I'm talking about, gathering people's information and actually getting them together to get to work on time. And
Yeah.
I always thought it was impossible to achieve, but now with the communications we have, the Wi-Fi, to the
Yeah.
GPS, now I feel like we should be a lot more. I mean, it should be a lot easier for our society
Yeah, but
to move
yeah,
around.
there's still a long way to go. I mean, the only way I think that it'll actually work is if all the vehicles are automated. I
Right.
don't think it would work if some had drivers and others didn't.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah,
because
yeah, yeah. I
the
don't
only
mean
way it can work is
automated.
if
I don't
all the
mean
vehicles communicate through GPS and everything, but
right.
not with people in the middle of it. You know?
Yeah, I mean that I
Yeah.
didn't mean the automated, but I meant just like collective transportation. But
Yeah.
now that you go to automated, I only think trucks for long trips.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
should be automated.
Yeah.
you know but city traffic cannot be automated. It'll be chaotic, too many accidents. It'll probably take years and years
No,
for
but
to
that's what I mean. But the only way to do it is to take human drivers out altogether. Like you can't have human drivers in the middle of that. It has to
right,
all be robots,
right,
which I think would be great. And then we would just walk and then drive and be driven rather than driving.
right.
But that's a long ways away. But I mean, basically, that's on a personal level, that's what I did when I quit driving a cab, which was in 2012. Now I just take buses and trains and I drive like once a month, only when when I have to do errands or transport like artwork or whatever.
Right.
I used to drive, 12, 14, 16 hours a day, and now I drive, 3 hours in a month or something. And I like it. And I don't think I'll ever own a car again.
Right.
It's horrible. It's just like a albatross around your neck. It's this hunk of metal and plastic and oil that just loses. It's like it just sucks you dry,
Right.
of money and time, and fraying nerves. It's horrible. There's not really anything good about cars, I don't think.
I personally love driving a car, and as you were saying, I see it as a personal freedom, but not in the cheesy way as most people see it. Oh, I can speed as much as I can. I can get anywhere I want. I don't drive that way. Since I'm a truck driver, I learned how to drive carefully because I used to think I drove carefully, but
Hmm.
then when I got behind the wheel of a truck, I'm like, holy moly, I can't actually be, you know, I can I don't consider myself a safe driver because, you're basically on top of a weapon. You
Yeah,
can
yeah,
kill someone at 2 miles an hour.
yeah.
So yeah, it's not a it should be a privilege. That's why I keep on telling people driving should be a privilege, and it's not. Anybody that has a decent credit score can get on behind the wheel, or
Yeah.
not even a good credit score. I mean, they can own their own car. But seriously, anybody hires a cab driver. Anybody can be a Lyft driver. Lyft drivers and Uber drivers are probably the worst drivers ever, just because they don't know always where they're going unless they have all of the experience. Besides, they stop suddenly
Yeah.
left and right and
Hmm.
without using their hazard lights. That should be more regulated.
Yeah. For
That's
sure.
why I'm saying it should be a privilege because now, not now, but historically, every stupid person drives.
Yeah.
Yeah, there should be a IQ test. I don't know what should happen for one to drive, but after this crisis, I mean, we should rethink how we do things again, and we should change this. We should change the way we
Yeah.
we transport ourselves. I mean,
We should change many things, but I'm afraid that if enough of things recover to the way they used to look, people will just forget. Because I mean, that's what happened in the recession
yeah,
in 2008, 7, 8. I don't know if you remember, but gas prices in Chicago were up to $5 a gallon. You know, during that time, and
that
for
was
a
in
little
Mexico
while,
during that time.
for a little while, driving actually went down because it was so fucking expensive to gas up a car.
Right.
But then it passed and they lowered the gas prices again,
And
people
everybody got a
they
new
started
car.
driving again. And in America especially, gas prices are artificially low. They're way lower than a lot of other places,
Right.
which is and they shouldn't be.
Right.
The gas prices should be much higher here, you know,
Right.
and they should be high enough to discourage people from driving who don't need to be driving.
But then
that-
you take away so much money from the automotive industry, and you know how the automotive industry is privileged in this country. You know, if they struggle, the government injects
Sure. Yeah.
some money into it.
Well, it's the same reason why we don't have why everybody doesn't have electric cars, because the auto industry does, and the oil industry don't want it.
Yes, I mean the Mexican, according to research, the Mexican guy Thomas Alva Edison.
Mm-hmm.
He's arguably Mexican, by the way, from Zacatecas,
Uh-huh.
Sombrerete in Mexico. But he
that's
invented the electric car.
That's a different thing. That's one of those things where, like in every sect of Christianity, Jesus looks like the people that worship him.
Right, yeah.
So if you're black, Jesus is black. If you're white, Jesus is white.
Right.
Everything in between, So,
right.
Of course, for you, Thomas Edison can be Mexican. That's cool.
Right. Yeah, but no, we can probably talk about this at a different time. But
I don't know enough to really argue.
Right.
I'm making a little bit of a joke out of it, but you know what I mean.
No, I know exactly what you mean, dude. But yeah, I mean, white and curly hair Jesus, black hair Jesus, they're the same person somehow. They please different people. It's weird.
Well, but because people want to worship a God that looks like them,
Right. Yeah.
That makes sense, because you want to see the same way that, like, you want to see in movies or TV, you want to see people that look like you, and then you can dream and imagine that you're like a superhero like them. You know what I mean?
Right. No, it's true. I mean, that's
It's
why
much
we
harder to
are.
imagine if you see somebody on a screen that looks nothing like you, but if they look a little bit more like you, then you can imagine that you can be a hero as well. That's how myths work.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very it's a childish sentiment, and and a lot of us fall for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
that's why I don't watch Hollywood movies. But
I totally broke your chain of thought. Why did you bring up the famous Mexican Thomas Edison?
Because we were talking about cars and how he invented the first electric car, and nobody did anything about it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And he only did it to compete with Tesla.
Right.
And he obviously won, Edison. Yeah. But because of Ford, because of General Motors and General Electric, that didn't go through. Well, he worked a lot with General Electric. I think he was one of the funders, right?
I don't remember. That's probably right. I don't know that history very well, but yeah, I know it was basically him and Tesla coming up with competing ways of for electricity to be conducted.
Right.
Was it alternating current versus, what was Tesla's called? I forget.
Continuous.
Yeah.
Continuous electric current. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Edison would ridiculize Tesla by burning. This is so stupid, and that's why our episodes are not child friendly, because Edison would ridiculize Tesla, according to his way of ridiculizing him, burning elephants using his current, his electric current.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, but anyway, electric cars, they should be a reality.
Well, sure.
Already. Especially what I'm saying, automated and electric trucks. You can have a guy sleeping
Yeah.
on the compartment for 12 hours or hanging out, in the compartment. The truck driving itself, and you only need the guy to either offload or do the paperwork.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then he's not a driver; he's the passenger.
Right. Yeah. For long trips, can you imagine? I mean, I've never driven on the winter through the Rocky Mountains, but truckers never stop, and they all do.
No, I know. I once, in 1994, I tried going to grad school for painting in Indiana, and I quit after one semester. And I drove my car, my very old car, which is a '72 Buick Skylark, back from Indiana to Massachusetts.
Right.
In the middle of winter, and somewhere in Pennsylvania, an 18-wheeler jackknifed on a mountain, and we were stuck behind it like all night. We couldn't get through,
Right.
And that's those truckers go all night in whatever condition, all day and all night. It's crazy, and it would be great if we could eliminate that,
Right. I mean, eliminate that.
A safer way to get all our crap from one end of the country to the other,
Right. I mean, there's BNSF, but there's only so much you can do through train.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, that was it for traffic.
Yeah. Are we gonna fucking talk about the weather now?
No, I wanted to talk about what I wanted to ask you, being an artist and being low budget as you are, and also being creative with a budget. What place would you like to visit when this is over, assuming you already have the planned trip to go to Boston? What other place would you go to?
I have to wait to see what at some point I'm gonna go to Boston because
Right.
so actually let's see, what date is today? Today is the 10th.
The 10th.
Yeah, so originally, before all this shit happened, my family was supposed to all meet in Italy in about 2 weeks to celebrate my parents' 50th wedding anniversary. But obviously, that trip has been canceled.
Right.
And I'm still fighting with the cheap ass airline that I got my plane ticket.
Oh, they don't want to refund you?
No, they haven't refunded me shit. But
God bless America.
But so I don't even know where this fucking company is. I don't think they're in America. But
Right.
but instead of that, I'm gonna at some point go visit them in Boston where they live. But first I have to move. So I have to move apartments in 3 weeks.
Right.
That's the most important thing in my life. But if you ask, like, once the stay-at-home thing is lifted, I'd be happy to not cook food anymore and go eat at a fucking restaurant. Any restaurant, like, it doesn't even matter really. To sit down at a restaurant and just eat a meal, that would be great. I don't have very fancy tastes.
Right.
Like I'd be happy to eat a Skylark burger at the Skylark.
Oh, that'd be sweet. A panko. Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Panko chicken. Kale salad with chicken. With some apple pie. Yep. That would be just fine. Like, I wouldn't go anywhere fancy. I'm not a huge traveler. So, and I have my routines that I like, and those have obviously had to shift a bit with the lockdown, but just not to have to cook at home would be a big treat at this point.
Yeah. What are you cooking lately, if you don't mind me asking, Dmitry?
I cook very simple stuff. I'll buy either chicken or beef, everything's in a pan,
Right.
and then I'll have either spinach or corn or some other vegetable, for a side, and that's it. it's quick. It's all done in like 20 minutes, half an hour.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah. I eat for breakfast. I usually I'll eat eggs or an omelet or yogurt, coffee. Yeah, I've pretty simple tastes, and I mean I could cook something more elaborate, but it's not a thing I get any kind of pleasure out of. So I
Right.
try to get through it as quickly as possible.
Right.
Yeah, I spend most of my time, doing writing or painting or packing, organizing stuff around here. Uh, but yeah, cooking's not like a highlight of the day for me. I know it's a big pleasure for a lot of people, but not to me. Not while I'm by myself.
Yeah, if you don't have someone helping you out with the dishes, it gets hard.
Well, it's depressing to cook for just for yourself. It's not It's not inspiring.
Right.
Yeah, I think I've said this before, but yeah, when there was like a lady to cook for, then it would be more exciting, or more
Right.
interesting to me. But
Right.
just for myself, I can't get that excited about it.
Right. Yeah, some of
But yeah,
us are
do
lucky.
my own dishes and everything. Yeah, nobody here but me. So
Right. Yeah, dude, I'm also excited to. My main thing is
hmm
going hiking
Oh
to
yeah.
to like a state park or
hmm
forest preserve, but now they're all closed. So when the normatives relax a little bit, I'd
Yeah.
love to go
Yeah.
mushroom foraging.
Ah.
We're missing the right season, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, for morel mushrooms.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, I'm sure you'll get a chance to. And look, there's going to be more of them when you do get there. Because people haven't been at them. They're going to be gigantic because nobody picked them.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't think that the thing is
I think
gonna
mushrooms.
relax
A
until.
lot of the mushrooms, if they are left, they'll just grow and grow and grow, right? I mean, a
Yeah.
lot. If you don't pick them, they'll just keep growing and growing.
Right.
They won't stop. Yeah. No, there's going to be some kind of new normal. It's going to be different for a while, but I'm telling you, in a few years, there's going to be people that forget. Just like now, there are people born that don't know about 9/11. There's people that don't know all kinds of history. You know what I mean? At
Right.
some point, this will also be a history,
Right.
not a everyday reality. Which will be,
That's.
I hope that's soon, in a way.
Yeah. I mean, it could take up to so many months, and I hope it's sooner than that, though. Uh,
Well, they're starting. I mean, China's starting to reopen stuff. They.
the thing is that we have to acknowledge they closed. They went strict on their stuff, except for flights. They
Hmm.
went strict on their stuff in January
Yeah,
because the first case
but
of new pneumonia that they didn't
yeah,
know how it worked or where it came from. It happened by the end of October. So by the end of November, they already had like an outbreak,
yeah,
a
but
little one. Yeah.
for better or worse, they have some sort of leadership that is in charge of their country, whereas we have a ship without a captain. So,
Right.
so that's why we started all this shit like 3 months too late.
Yeah. And the
I
thing
mean,
is
it's sort
that,
of amazing that more people haven't died, really.
and that is why we should choose better representatives, because whoever is representing us right now is not representing us because they were trying to make an extra buck
Yeah,
before the pandemic actually hit
yeah,
the US. Instead of saving lives, they
yeah,
decided to make an extra buck, and that is criminal. That is
Yeah.
criminal. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it should be criminal, except that that's how this country works.
Well, it is, but it is by all means. It's just have the population would not acknowledge that because they idolize this figure in power.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because to be greedy and get as much as you can at the expense of other people, that's celebrated, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So
I mean,
that's how it goes. So
that
did we cover all of it, or is there other stuff?
I think
Yeah,
we covered everything. I
I
just
think we solved all the problems. I think we're good to go. Everything can go back to normal right now.
everything can go back to normal. Dimitri.
After we hang up, we'll walk outside of our house, and every car will be automated, and it's just gonna be utopia. There's gonna be sunshines and puppies and rainbows and shit. It's gonna be amazing.
It's gonna be great. It's the magic of just wanting something.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
achieved it.
You could will it with your brain into reality. Just by hoping and wishing. Yeah.
Right. I had that type of logic up until right now. You opened my eyes. Now, since I'm sarcastic, now I don't believe it. I
That's
know.
what I'm here for. I'm here to inspire.
Right. Well, Dimitri, let's talk about again the paintings that you are. All of the profits off of the sellings.
Oh,
are
the prints. Yeah, people
the
can
prints.
go to imprint.com and find my name, and you'll probably post the links. But if they search for my prints of the Skylark and Rainbow and the Hideout, if they buy those, I'll donate whatever I make from those to the GoFundMe fundraisers. So the employees can get by and pay their bills before these bars reopen.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is I'm showing again
Hmm.
the stuff I'm showing in live.
Hmm.
Oh, it's black. This is awesome. Um,
Well, if even if the links don't end up, if people search for the site called Inprint, and it's INPRNT without the I, the second
Right.
I, inprint.com, and they find my name, Dmitry Samarov, they can find those images. There's a bunch of other stuff too, but if they specifically buy the ones of the bars, I'll give that money to the fundraisers.
right. It's actually now showing. So there are three of the Skylark, right?
And about 10 of the rainbow, I think, and one
Right.
of the hideout. Yeah, that's one of the rainbows. Yeah.
Right. And well, there's some of your other work here too. If you
Yep.
are
Oh, there's one.
anybody's
Oh,
interested.
also, that one of the duck. That's for the duck inn. Somebody bought one. If somebody buys the duck,
Oh, this one. All
that
right, that's for the
go to the
duck.
duck, the Duck Inn, which is another great local restaurant.
Right.
They have a GoFundMe as well. So
Right.
yeah, that one goes for this offer as well. So yeah.
And well, thanks, Dimitri, for your support to the bars and restaurants of Chicago, especially particularly the local ones, the ones you feel identified with. That's the way we can get over this, helping each other out.
Yeah.
Please help Dimitri visit his website at dmitrisamarov.com. Sign up to his newsletter weekly. It's tinyletter.com
Slash Samarov. Yeah.
Samarov, right. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel XH Jesse. Everything we do is live, production wise and content wise. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, share with your loved ones, and we'll see you again in the next episode of Art Connects. Thank you. Thanks, Dimitri.